of media. In today's time, huge corporate giants not only focus on creating brand image, but also they indulge in various philanthropic activities. And today, we will be discussing about one such activity, that is corporate social responsibility, its scenarios and its importance. To discuss on the same, we have our keynote speaker, Dr. Sapna Nayak ma'am. Among our panelists, we have Professor Bhavna Pathak ma'am, Professor Zubair Khan sir, Trisha Nimbalkar, Mehak Jain, Sahil Charasia, and Yashi Tripathi. Before we initiate our session further, I would like to give a brief introduction about our keynote speaker. Dr. Sapna Nayak ma'am is working as a professor in the Department of Journalism, University of Mysore, and has 17 years of experience in media education. Ma'am has currently authored a book titled Corporate Communication. She has done specialization in corporate communication and electronic media. She has also been a regular visiting faculty to various educational institutions. Presently, she is also the coordinator of Radio Manasa, community radio station of University of Mysore. Sapna ma'am is also a certified Factshala trainer and media literate on media literacy. Sapna ma'am has been a gold medalist and a rank holder from the university and has been awarded the Best Media Educator Award in 2018 by Exchange for Media, New Delhi. A very good evening to you, ma'am. It's our pleasure to have you on our session today, and we welcome you to Media Monitor. So, before starting, I would like to initiate the session with a question, and you may continue after that. So, uh, I would like to ask, ma'am, what are the is there any significant difference between philanthropy and corporate social responsibility activities? And if there is, and if present, what are the differences between these two?
Okay, thank you, Nichita
Yeah.
for the question. And I think in the process of my lecture for the session, you'll be finding the answer for that. But anyways, I'll keep that in mind. And first and foremost, a very good evening to one and all present here for the session. And I would also like to thank my friend Professor Bhavna Pathak for bringing me here today to the other part of the country, that is Indore. I visited the place, but not as an academician, but as a tourist. I had visited then. And I first and foremost, I would like to thank Bhavna for providing me this opportunity to share my thoughts on the very interesting topic. And this is my specialization. I always feel very happy to speak on corporate communication and community radio stations, because that is the area which I keep working a lot on. And to the question of what Nichita told, as I told in the process, because I have just divided my whole of this session into different parts, and one of the part where I'll also be speaking about the difference between CSR and also philanthropic contribution also, where I think you'll be able to get your answers. And I think this particular batch of students whom I'm addressing right now are from the undergraduates or postgraduates.
Yes, ma'am. These are the undergraduate students.
Undergraduate students.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Thank you, one and all. And I know you people are still very young to the field of journalism. You know how journalism field has been gaining so much of a popularity, especially among the younger community and the younger generation. You people come to the subject thinking a lot of things, and yes, there is a good wide number of options which is available to you people. And advertising and corporate communication is one such area where you can really make a very good mark. It doesn't mean that the other papers and other subjects are not so important, but when it comes to the corporate world, when it comes to the corporate communication, your opportunities are very wide open, provided you have developed those skills which is needed in the industry. And I think the papers or which is being offered, or maybe the syllabi what you people are being taught at the respective departments, will surely make you very good individuals and be ready and keep you people ready for the industry. And as I told, yes, the particular topic what I'll be speaking to you people for 40-45 minutes is completely extempore. I haven't prepared any kind of a PPT, because I did spoke to Dr. Bhavna in the afternoon that I was little bit busy today, and we had admissions are open and we are busy with that. But anyways, I always enjoy speaking very extempore, and it also helps us to connect to you people very easily. I know visualization, seeing certain things on the system is always good, and it will be retained for a longer time. But I think this particular topic which is there is will be very interesting if I can speak very extended. Why
Yeah.
corporate social responsibility? I've divided the talk, or my I have divided my session into two, three things. One is we'll just speak on what corporate social responsibility is all about, why it is very much important to have a CSR in the industry, and especially in the corporate world. What kind of significance it has in the corporate world. And I'll also be speaking to you people about certain case studies which will help you to connect to the activities more. At the same time, we'll also see how corporate social responsibility is different from the other kind of activities and all. So when you speak about a company, okay, when you speak about a CSR, as you all know, which speaks is corporate social responsibility, is an ethical thing. See, many a times it so happens that you know how industrialization has taken over, how many corporates have been working across the globe, especially in a country like India, which is on the developing thing. We are already on par with the developed countries and all. The kind of industrialization which has taken over after 1991, things has completely changed. Okay, it's not been the same kind of a thing. The service oriented kind of an industry which used to be there, or the PSUs, what you call as the public service units or public service organizations in the government, has completely changed over. So cut short, if you come to the corporate world today, especially in a country like India, people know, especially the world knows that the India is one of the country which will be in the lead, and you know the BRICS and all. I need to tell you about all those things. So we are one of the leading industrial country, especially because of the human power what we have. It's not only about the human power, but also the kind of talents what we have. Okay, every all over the world, people think that Indian population or the younger generation in the India are much more creative. They are much more active than when compared to other things. So people have been investing a lot on the companies and all. So you find different varieties of companies today, whether it is manufacturing, whether it is defense, or whether it is the pharmaceuticals, whether it is the consumer goods. Things are happening a lot. So that is on the production part of it. It is about the what you call as the financial part of it. But other than that, it is not only a company. When you call a company, it's not only about finance. It's not only about the profits and loss. Okay, there are much more things which you people can do. There are many more active, because it was realized by the companies over a period of time. So gone are the days when people used to think only when a company used to be set up, people used to think of profit, people used to think of name, people used to think of getting more and more, people want to be there on the top. But over the period of time, the companies have also realized that it is a time, okay, there is a time, and it is a time to give back something to the society. Okay, you need to give back something to the society, maybe not completely, but at least a partial amount of the profit, a partial amount of your activity has to be dedicated to the community from where you have been taking back a lot of things. That is where this concept of CSR, I'm not going to the historical development, I'll not be dealing more on the historical growth and all, but I'll be just giving you a basic things about why this corporate social responsibility has become an integral part. Okay, so the what do you call the awareness of giving back to the society, doing something to the community members, doing something to the society is what the corporate social responsibility is all about. At the same time, it also helps in image building. Don't ever think that when I say corporate social responsibility, it is only about giving to the society, but at the same time, it also helps them in image building. Any corporate sector in the country today, or any corporate sector across the globe, the very first thing what they think is how much popular they are, how much branding they have, what kind of image they hold in the society. Okay, so CSR activities, through these CSR activities, these companies can build their own images also. And it is a very regular activity. People, especially the companies, invest so much of their money to have their own image to their activities. Okay, I'll be telling you some case studies and all. And in India, as I told, all the corporate activities, okay, all the corporate activities come under a corporate affairs ministry. You have a separate ministry from the government called as the corporate affairs, which will take care of all the activities. And you also have a company act. Okay, also have an industry company act, which speaks of section 135 a 135 1, which speaks about the company's activities. Okay, and as you know, there are, when I speak of companies, there are companies which are known as big companies, there are industries, there are small industries, there are small scale industries. It's not necessary that all these companies come under this CSR. As I told, it is a voluntary thing. Like, it is completely voluntary, and there is no rules that everybody has to contribute something back to the society. But with this corporate affairs ministry coming in, they have a slab. Okay, they have divided the companies in the country which have been listed. There are around 500 companies which have been listed in the country as the topmost important companies, and based on their profit. Okay, it doesn't mean that if a company is under loss, they won't expect you to give back something to society. Okay, there is something profit, there is something called as the financial slab which is being given to the companies. For example, there are around companies which have got a profit somewhere between 1 crore to 25 crores. Okay, that's the first slab. So in India, there are around 333 companies which come under the profit of this 1 crore to 25 crores. Then the second slab is 25 crores to 50 crores of profit. So you come under the second slab. There are companies which come under 50 to 70, 50 to 100. And the fourth one is 100 crores above, the kind of profit what you have. Okay, so when you look into the recent figures, okay, when you look into the recent figures of sorry, look into the recent figures of the top 10 companies, and you know that it is all the companies in the country are not completely Indian owned. Okay, there are many people who come and invest in the country. We have McDonald's, we have Domino's, you have got your companies, automobile companies like Mercedes, Benz. Okay, there are many companies, or maybe it can be your Tata. There are many companies. Now, Tata is an Indian company, but the thing is, there are many companies which come and invest in the country. So, recent figure 2021, every year we come up with a top 10 companies which invest this much of money in the CSR activities. In the CSR activities. So if you look into that, there are it's not only the private corporate sectors which have been doing it, but at the same time, hello, it also speaks about the companies which are from the manufacturing industry. There are companies from pharmaceuticals, banking industry. Banking industry has been the topmost companies which have been investing a lot on the thing. So when you look into the top 10 countries, or the top 10 companies of the Indian thing, the very first is the Tata Consultancy. It's a completely Indian owned, as you know, it is completely an Indian owned company. So Tata, they have ventured into a lot of things. It is not only automobiles, they are into infrastructure, they are into education. Okay, they are into automobiles. Okay, they are into pharmaceuticals, they are into consumer goods, they are into jewelry. Okay, so the very first company which is in the top 10, the top 10 companies which are invested more in the CSR activities in the country is Tata. Followed by, you also have Reliance company. I'll tell you some case studies which will help you to connect to it also. Then we have got the Reliance company is there. Then you have got HDFC, that is, as you all know, they are into the banking sector. Then you got ONGC, that is Oil and Natural Gas Corporation, that is also one of the important thing. Okay, then you have Infosys. So they have been doing a lot of activities. As you know, again, it is an Indian owned company. Infosys company is there. Then you have got ITC, which was into tobacco thing and all, but now they have ventured into infrastructure. They are ventured into consumer goods. Then you also have SBI. Okay, SBI, that is the State Bank of India. So these, some of the companies are being diverting their amount, or diverting their part of their profit into the society. Even when I speak of CSR, there are many things you need to understand. There are certain companies who divide and who have a responsibility towards the society. One can be a ethical responsibility. How ethical is your company when you are doing some activity, because you have an image of yours in the eyes of the society? So you have to have some ethical practices. When I say ethical practices, it means how a company conduct itself with the employees. Okay, so it is very much necessary, because when you think of a company doesn't come overnight. It is only because of the people who are working in it, is only because of the talent who are there in the company. A company is a company. Fine. So what happens here is, you need to have a ethical practices. Okay, you speak of, as I'm just give an example. and you speak at the advertisements of your own, or maybe doing a branding about your company, you speak that women should be respected, women are the foremost thing, women are the, what do you call, the driving force of the company, that this and all. And at the backyard of your company, if you don't pay her well, if you make her work for a longer time, you don't give her a maternity leave, or if you don't give them a proper wage, and there is a lot of disparity, that means you're doing a kind of a double game. Fine. So what happens, there are certain things a company should know. See, all these things, small, maybe for us it may be a very small thing, but it's one of the very biggest thing. Okay, so you need to have that ethical practices. Corporate social responsibility includes all these things. It's not only about sharing a profit. Anybody can share the amount, anybody can share, or anybody can give a blanket, anybody can give a food for some time, anybody can provide some food kit during the COVID. It's done and dusted. No, it's not like that. It is a continuous process. Okay, you need to keep and you need to build the image, image of a company, image of a person or a personality, like anybody, like an individual personality, doesn't happen overnight. Okay, it is a continuous process. You need to build it brick by brick. That is what Tata company has done, that is what Infosys has done, that is what Reliance company has done. See, there are many other kind of the stories. There is the other side of the story when we speak of CSR activities. Okay, some people say that it's just an eye wash. Okay, that is also there. Because I'm not speaking about that. I'm not telling whether it is true, whether it is not true, because the other side of the story is also there. But let us look into the positive side of the thing here, what a company can do. So one is the ethical responsibility you have. Okay, you have to be very ethical thing. Then the second important thing is you have to be environmental responsibility. So when you say a company, obviously you're using the natural resources of the natural resources. Okay, it can be water, it can be electricity, it can be anything. Fine. So many of the environmental hazards do happen. Okay, you have been polluting the water, you have been polluting the air. Okay, many trees have been cut in the process of your expansion, doing this, doing that and all. So all these things needs to be checked also. So one of the important aspect of our corporate responsibility is also to see the environmental friendly. So you are responsible towards the environment also, in the name of profit, in the name of being the top one, in the name of being the success corporate houses, success corporate industry, doesn't mean that you have to spoil the environment. So you have to have that environmental consciousness also. Okay, then the consumer friendly. Okay, the other important thing is about the consumer behavior, consumer responsibility. You have a responsibility towards your consumers. Whether your consumer is an automobile buyer, whether he is buying the FMCG from you, whether he is picking up something from you, whatever be the thing, you have a responsibility towards your consumer. Today, consumers are called as the king. They can rule the world. They can make your company or they can mar your company. Just one small mistake from your company, the whole thing is gone. Okay, so there are many crises which happens within the organization. So you have a separate study called as a crisis communication, where this corporate social responsibility people do speak about this corporate crisis communication also. So what is your responsibility towards your consumer? Are you doing, whether are they paying the price which is exactly the same as the product? So everybody, you see, each and everybody's money is very important. Everybody earns their money. Every pie what they earn is very responsibly they earn. Okay, and everybody are they value that money a lot. Okay, so see to it that your consumers are happy, whether they have been delivered the goods and services which is equivalent to the money whatever they have spent. Okay, so you need to be very ethical. You need to have that what you have that environmental consciousness should be there. You should also have that consumer responsibility towards that also. Then the financial one, that is transparency. You also, CSR also speaks about the financial transparency. What is the kind of account you are maintaining? Because today transparency is very much important. Okay, if a company may say I'm not earning profit, but you're doing good amount of business. Okay, so that's the reason why you need to be very transparent also. People in the company spend crores of rupees for this kind of a thing. Okay, so you have your own auditors, you have to give the report to the government, you have to share the profit. So there are a lot of things which also involves the financial responsibility. Okay, and today, as I told, every organization, as I told, the big companies like Philips, or it can be Vedant, it can be a Reliance company or Tata, whatever be that the companies, they have to maintain a kind of a transparency. That is also very one of the important thing. So you as kids, and you as the upcoming corporate communication what is it, specialist, what they hire you people in the name of corporate communication, you have a separate department. Earlier, there never used to be a separate department. It used to be called as PR, that is public relations. The only responsibility of this PR man, or the PR office, or the PR section, was to maintain a media relation. Okay, the inauguration, okay, celebrating the Women's Day, celebrating the prize distribution was being done, change of CEO, change of the office, launching a new product. Only that it was limited to only these media relations. But post 1991 and post 2000, things have changed a lot. People are expecting a lot from the corporate world also. So in this regard, they have got different section. As I told, consumer behavior is very important, employee relation is very much important. You need to take care of your investors, you need to take care of your banking sectors, you need to take care of your societal needs, you need to take care of the government organization. So your work or your responsibility as a corporate communication has increased a lot. So you're not only dealing with the media, you're not only trying to give a good picture about your organization, you're not telling them only the positivity of your thing. There are many a time, there are many crisis communication specialists. You can be a crisis communication. If a company gets into the crisis after some time, or maybe due to some bad experiences, bad product, so you need to be there, you need to answer. Okay, so you have to develop all those skills. Okay, and now corporates have understood, corporates have realized that only a good employee, okay, keeping a very good employee, or giving them a pat in the back whenever they do a very good activity, is a must. Okay, so you have to keep on boosting the importance of a employee, because if not here today, tomorrow you'll be shifting to somewhere else. It is your loss, it is not his loss. He has the talent, he has all the skills, he has got all the technicalities. So it is up to the company to extract these good things from him. Okay, so that's the other side of the thing. But this is the corporate social responsibility. Okay, at the same time, as I told, you have to give back something to the society. So people thought that making profit is not the only thing. So there are many activities what we can do. So what has happened is, a certain amount of the profit is usually dedicated to the CSR activities by the company, depending upon the profit, what I told you the other time. Okay, every companies will have their own profit margin. So what they usually do is they usually set aside, that is 2.5% to 3% of the company's annual profit should be kept aside for the CSR activity. So when I say CSR, there are a lot of things which you can choose. It ranges from different things. It can be environmental protection, it can be women empowerment, it can be industrial development, it can be cultural retention. So there are many things. It can be the community development, it can be the medical facilities what you give. So what has there are around, they have listed out certain things, okay, like environmental things, sports, okay, the culture, okay, they have got an 8 to 10 important categories are there. As a company, you can choose whichever you like. It doesn't mean that there are not companies which are doing all the activities. For example, Tata mainly speaks about sports. Tata speaks mainly about women empowerment. Okay, they speak about children's education. So is with Reliance company. Infosys speaks about cultural retention. They want to upgrade the culture of the country. They want to bring back the cultural heritage of the country back to the land. So there are many things which you can choose. So for each and every activity, you have a team of CSR people, which is usually headed by a, corporate communication head would be there, who will have around 5 to 6 people who will be working under him. So you have to chalk out the plan, you have to give them the roadmap, you have to tell how you people can involve the employees of your own company and get the image building done. Okay, so this is how you usually plan. Okay, then it is an, as I told, it is a continuous process, it doesn't stop at one go. So you involve the people. Okay, you channelize the amount of the profit to a particular goal. See, money anybody can give. Okay, anybody can give you the money, but seeing whether it has reached the beneficiaries, whether it has been able to do the justice to the people, has to be checked. So that is what you people do. You do something called as corporate social responsibility auditing. Okay, that means you have to audit. See, in India, people are very good in planning. Like students also, like we were also there when we were students. We were very good in planning. We'll do this, we'll do that. But when it comes to the execution part, okay, when we are to execute something, we fail utterly. So that is not possible here, because if you fail in the plan utterly, the image of your company will be hampered. Okay, so people will speak 100 things. Okay, if you are not able to be successful in a particular campaign, or if you are not able to do some successful campaign, obviously people are there. Your rival companies are already there. The report has to be submitted. So there are many things which you need to take care of. Okay, fine. So what happens here is you have to have the auditing done, which is done every annually, every six. There are companies which do the auditing every quarterly. They do the financial auditing. You must have seen Infosys keeps on giving the financial auditing. If you have the habit of reading the business page and the financial page of the newspapers, every quarterly they release something called as the financial status of the company. This is mainly to give an idea to the readers, to the society, and to the community that this is the profit and this is how the company is doing the things. This much of money is being invested here. Because people, the transparency is very much important. You need to have what you call as social auditing. Okay, you have to stand, because once a image is being daunted, okay, once a image get dotted by the some activities or so, it is very difficult for you to bounce back to the society or to the market. Okay, for that example, Johnson and Johnson is there, or maybe for that McDonald's is there. There are many companies which have been kicked out of the market at all. They have been kicked out of the country also for once for all. Okay, after this COVID thing which happened, many of the Chinese companies has to go back to their company, has to go back to their country. We don't have any Chinese companies. People have stopped buying certain products because of the backlash from the products and all. So these are some of the things. So CSR activity is not only about profit, it is not only about ethics, it is not only about auditing. It is a combination of all, which has to be taken care of the things very meticulously. And you have a team of people, experienced people would be there who will be training you. And every day you get to know a lot of things. Okay, you are the people who will have each and every information at the tip of your finger. Everything is there in your system. You keep interacting with your investors, you keep interacting with your consumers, you keep interacting with your employees. So you get to know a lot of things. Okay, good things about your company, at the same time bad things about your company also. So you need to rectify how things can be sorted out. Okay, so just to give you some of the case studies as to why this corporate social responsibility has to be taken out, and whether all the activities can give a can give a good image, or there are many examples and there are many projects, there are many case studies which have also backfired also. Okay, so very first thing, I'll just give you some examples with the media, so that it will be very easy for you to get connected also. As I told, NDTV. Okay, NDTV, many of you must be watching, and it is the India's largest media network. Which, when it comes to English news and all, Pranoy Roy. So it's being done by Pranoy Roy. So they wanted to venture, because see, when media is a company now, okay, media organizations have also become companies now. It used to be social responsibility kind of a thing. It used to be societal service, but now it is all companies. So NDTV initially in India, if you go back around 8-10 years back, if you go back, I'm trying to take you back to 10 years or so, because I want to tell you how media organizations have evolved by doing this. Because how you set an image. See, every personality, every individual will have their own image. Okay, it can be a politician. Politicians today, they have their own image makers. The way they dress, the way they speak, okay, the way they conduct themselves in the public. Why do you think every politicians are there in the Twitter? Because it is the easiest way of getting connected to the public, to tell them what is the activities they are doing. So is with the companies also. Okay, please make it a habit to visit some of the companies website. Creating a website of a company itself is an image building activity. Companies spend crores of rupees for constructing or developing their home page or images, or maybe their website. Sometimes we say that SBI is not working, Yono is not working. That means it is a bad thing. If your Yono app is not working, that means SBI has done something wrong with the technical side. People will not invest in you. People will because companies run by the people. Okay, people are the one who invest. People are the one who stays you will make you stay connected. Okay, so you need to understand that even a small mistake by a particular company can land them in a soup. So you have to be very careful about it. So I was just telling you about NDTV. NDTV in the initial period, as you know, that was the time when the news channels and the 24 into 7 news channels were making their way in the country. So NDTV started a campaign called as a Save the Tiger campaign. Save the Tiger campaign because, as we all know, tiger being the a national animal, and it was on the verge of extinction. Even now, it can be counted. Okay, the number of tigers in the national park and in the sanctuaries and all, it can be counted. So NDTV at that particular time there was a lot of poaching which was happening. There was a lot of smuggling which was happening. Many of the tigers were being killed by the poachers and all. So NDTV came up with a innovative idea of doing a campaign and also to involving the community members to create an awareness about the importance of tigers. Okay, because tiger being a national animal, what is it we are doing? Fine. If yesterday there was a joke which was running in the WhatsApp, I don't know whether you had the same. India's national animal, tiger. India's national bird, what do you call, peacock. India's national snack, Dolo 650. Okay, so that was the kind of that I'm just trying to tell you that how things have changed. So people, there were the campaign of Save the Tiger campaign was undertaken by NTTV. One is to create an awareness. Second one, it was to see that the number of tigers in the sanctuaries and in the parks and the poaching can be controlled. So what they did was they wanted to rope in. Okay, they wanted to have an association. So that was where Dhoni was been Mahendra Singh Dhoni was the Indian captain. He was the craze of the country at that particular point of time. So they thought that if he becomes the brand ambassador, and also Amitabh Bachchan ji also becomes the brand ambassador because he was the Aircel one, and NDTV partnered with Aircel. Aircel was the telecommunication brand of the country. So, and Amitabh Bachchan was made the brand ambassador along with the Dhoni represented Aircel. So there were a lot of activities which was being planned. What NDTV did was they started giving news programs every 1 hour in a day about the importance of tigers. Okay, so in order to make the children realize, the tiger campaign started taking up in all the schools across the country. Okay, all the schools children were been asked to participate in the quiz program. The teachers were been asked to make them what you call essay writing competitions were being conducted. The main purpose here is to create a kind of awareness, and media channel was being used very regularly, and every day 1 hour program related to tigers was there. So they used to identify one, for example, Ranthambore. You must be knowing that Ranthambore in Madhya Pradesh. Okay, Ranthambore is one of the India's largest national park, where tigers are found more in number. Okay, so the NDTV crew used to go there. So they used to do the shooting. They used to speak to the people there, the guards and all. And it was found that many of the guards don't have the exact weapons whenever the poachers come. So that was one of the investigative thing what they got to know. And the money what they collected during the campaign was being used and was being given to the forest department to buy the weapons. So these are, and always remember, the it is a PPP. We call it as the public private partnership. See, everything you can't depend upon the government. And in India, many of the activities are run under this category only. That is PPP, public private partnership. Okay, so what happens here is the private companies, see, single-handedly the government can't do. So what you usually do is you usually rope in or usually tag yourself with a particular company or an organization. Even they also get an activity. Even they can fund certain amount of money and things can be carried out. So that is what the CSR activity also speaks about. So NDTV tagged themselves with the government of India. They tagged themselves with the Aircel company. They tagged themselves with the educational institutions. And what they did was they created an awareness. It's not 1 year, it's not 2 years. The campaign went around for 5 years continuously. And 5 years was a very, and Amitabh Bachchan, the reason why they wanted to rope in Amitabh Bachchan, because Amitabh Bachchan has conducted the interview programs right sitting in the national park. The viewership of the television went up. The brand image of NDTV started building up, because by then it was the only English channel it was there in the country. CNN was there, It was just growing, but the kind of image what you started building, okay, you're speaking to you were able to tell them through stories, through your narratives, that as an organization you're not looking only at the news programs, but at the same time you're drawing something, you're giving something back to the society, that is about creating the awareness. Okay, so a lot of merchandise was being done by NDTV. It was a very long run CSR program of NDTV, and I should say the reason why NDTV even today is called as one of the top most English news channel and one of the very worthy news channel is because the kind of basement what it had during this CSR activity. Okay, that was one. They also did one more program called as the back to school support my school project. Okay, the support my school project, again it was a campaign done by NDTV along with Coca Cola. You know what Coca Cola is company is all about. Okay, Coca Cola company is a beverage. Okay, people now the Coca Cola company or maybe the other beverages have been banned in the country, but at that particular point of time Coca Cola company had a backlash. They were in crisis. They had a problem in Kerala. The production unit which was doing the production of Coca Cola in Kerala had run into trouble. Okay, so the people in the vicinity, the people started agitating that the company has to be shifted. They didn't wanted the company, though they gave the employment, but it was polluting the environment in and around them. Okay, the water was getting polluted, the environment was getting polluted, the forest areas was diminishing. So the Kerala people wanted to push the Coca-Cola company to the other state, and they didn't want it, and the agitation was so strong. At that particular point of time, in order to save their skin and in order to not to go out of the country, what Coca-Cola did was they tagged themselves with NTTV and started funding the government schools of the country. That was this support my school campaign, because they were in crisis. They wanted to rebuild their image. They wanted to tell the people that, see, Coca-Cola company is not only about spoiling the health of the people, they are doing something back to the society. So that was how they started campaigning. They started tagging themselves with this what you call support my school campaign, for which Sachin Tendulkar was roped in. Sachin Tendulkar, the what would we call him as the god of Indian cricket, the kind of image what he had, the kind of what is a charismatic personality he was, because especially the kids, the school going kids, especially the government, see, it is not the urban elite class or the metropolitan students or the rural part of India. Everybody knew who Sachin Tendulkar was. At that, he was a kind of a rage at that particular point of time. And what they did was they roped him in, and the duty of the brand ambassador like Sachin Tendulkar was to go to the school which was selected by NDTV across the country. One school they used to select. So Sachin used to go there. He used to teach the children's. Okay, he used to have an interaction with them. He used to play cricket with them. By then, the TRP of NDTV went on like this. Okay, but at the same time, the rapport of Coca-Cola company also started gaining something in the market. People who had rejected the Coca-Cola company also started getting them back to the market shelf. Okay, the Coca-Cola company which was supposed to go back. So what I'm trying to tell you here is CSR companies is not only about investing the money, it is also about branding themselves. But you have to invest in a proper cause. Okay, that is, see, I can understand Coca-Cola mainly did it because of the market tactics. It was to stay back in the country because they knew in India it was a market. It was one of the India's biggest market. You go to China, you don't have Coca-Cola there. You don't find Google there. Okay, you don't find FB there. You don't find WhatsApp there. They have their own version. Okay, in China they have their own version of things like this. Okay, but they knew that in Asia, if they have to have a market, India is the best place. That is how the things happen. So the CSR activity of NDTV went on very strong, and as I told, women empowerment programs are being done. Then especially Tata company. Okay, in India, I told you today we have top 10 companies. It is the Tata company. They have invested more on the sports. Okay, sports. But there are many companies who invest on women empowerment. There are people who invest on environment. But Tata company thought of, see, always CSR activities has to be something innovative. Okay, it has to be something which there are innovative ideas ke liye they give prizes. There are every annually we have some prize distribution. There are many awards which is being given in the CSR, in the advertisements, where the best advertisement, best CSR ideas are also being recognized and given the thing. So Tata company wanted to invest their money for the development of sports in the country. You know what they did? They have established an academy, Tata Sports Academy, which mainly wants to target the tribal girls and boys. It is not the school children, it is not the metropolitan girls or boys, it is not the B city like us, Mysore. It's not like that. Tribal, you know how girls and boys, because tribals are always been neglected. Okay, we think that they shouldn't know, they are a part, they are somewhere from, they are from the other planet. Tribals are always been neglected. Their health is neglected, education is neglected, social life is neglected, political rights are neglected. So Tata came up with an idea of establishing a Tata Sports Academy, where they want to support financially the tribal childrens who want to venture into sports. It can be archery, it can be football, it can be cricket, it can be swimming. You will be shocked to know that from Tata companies, from the Tata Academy itself, this Olympics, there were more than 7 to 8 people who represented. Each and every training program, each and every food, each and every physiotherapist, or maybe their airfare, their training programs, everything is funded by Tata. This is the CSR activity. Okay, so the thing is, you need not have to show only empowerment, you need not have to show only about health. Earlier, it used to be only health, health, health. Majority of the people used to invest only on health, constructing the hospital, constructing a clinic, giving away the ambulances to the rural part of India. So that was the kind of thing what we used to do. But now there are many innovative ideas. There are many things which have been picked up by the people. Okay, and also I'll be very happy to share that Vedant. You must be knowing that Vedant is a very big company which is into oil refinery, they are into iron ore. Okay, so Vedant company, one of the India's biggest company, they have identified something called as Nandgar. Okay, I don't know, maybe if I say in some of the part of Rajasthan, they say in some part of Delhi, not part of India like UP and Haryana. This Vedant has come up with a CSR activity mainly to feed and also to create awareness about breastfeeding. Many of the rural population, many of the rural women don't know the importance of how a child has to be taken care from the time it's been born till the feeding age. Okay, so the awareness was not at all there among the rural population. Okay, so what they did, what they started some program called as this Nandgar is a project where even now 4,000 anganwadis have been constructed by them. Okay, so that means you have crush here, you have Z school, you have got fun schools. Okay, you have got all the kind of schools where you can go and leave your children and all. But just think of the rural populace. Okay, they don't have a place to go and play. What will a mother do with a child who can't have any kind of facilities? So what they came up with was this Nandigar project of this Vedant company, a very big company, is to have 4,000 Anganwadis in the north part of Karnataka, where they have provided all the what they call the facilities what you have in a play home. See, the play home today has been restricted only to the city areas, urban areas, where you have a teacher, you go learn, teach everything. But just imagine the kind of facility why a rural children should be deprived from these kind of a thing. Okay, because government is not ready to invest money. So when the government is not ready, at least a company should come forward. So these are some of the innovative ideas what you people see. These are some of the very successful CSR activities, and it has shown results also. Okay, instead of wasting their time at home or just watching a TV or not learning anything, even the rural population, rural children have picked up a lot of things like telling a table. Okay, or maybe about a small cleanliness activity by the teacher. So these are some of the things which you also has to think about. Okay, then also I wanted to speak about the malnourishment about, in India. Philips has come up with a lot of project. Okay, Philips, like you have got Nanni Kali project is there. Nanni Kali speaks about the girl education, importance of girl education. Okay, which has always been deprived. The government keeps telling Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. Okay, the government project is always it's also a CSR project. But when it comes to Philips, okay, Philips has got its own kind of a market in the country. Philips is one of the very well-known name in the world of electronics and all. So they have a project called as this Nanni Kali project. Okay, that is about the importance of girl education. Okay, we study here. That's what I'm telling you. As media students, you need to go to the ground. You need to go to the rural part. You need to be there. You need to spend some of your time. Pick up a slum in and around your colleges, or go to the interiors of your Indore, or maybe some places where you have to be a part of it. See, starting these kind of things very young as media students is a must for you. See, our practical activities is not only about being an anchor or being a radio jockey. Yes, we do that. Okay, that is also part of it. But until unless you don't get the pulse of the people. So because why I'm stressing all these things is because today there is a complete course from MBA. Okay, now we are studying as a part of our curriculum, right? But MBA, there is a course that is Management of Business Studies. I've started a exclusive course on CSR. You can completely do a CSR program, and all the corporate world are hiring not journalism students or not visual communication students. They are hiring these MBA people who have done their CSR projects, and their pay package starts somewhere around 8 lakhs per annum. That is somewhere around 70-75 lakhs per year starting, because the kind of activities are more. They need more people. They need more minds, young minds like you, who are very creative, because you belong to this particular thing. You're all millennials. Okay, your ideas are completely different from what we have. Okay, so how things could be done, this is what the whole thing is all about. Okay, then coming to Nishita's thing, philanthropy and CSR. As I told, CSR activity is only about the social commitment. You are doing something for the heck of the society. You are doing as you have been required to do it. You have been doing because the government has told you to share the profit, and you have to show it in your audit that you are doing it. But philanthropies is also something which you do very voluntarily. Just to give you an example of what this Bill Gates Foundation is doing, they have sacrificed their whole amount of their profit to the society. Or you can be about Clinton Foundation. They are also Azim Premji Foundation, or maybe Infosys also. Okay, that means you do it very voluntarily. See, it is not just one sponsoring a film show, sponsoring a toothpaste for a school thing, or sending 10 computers for a particular school. It's not like that. You are doing because your CSR asked you to do. Philanthropy activity is something which you do in a very larger scale. At the same time, you do it very continuously, what do you call, Bill Gates Foundation have done. They have donated almost all their property to them. So to see, philanthropics in India is not a trend, but in US or maybe in the Western countries, it has become a trend where people are writing away or giving away all their fortune to the society completely without taking anything back. They want to give away everything to the company, every single pie what they have earned as a profit or as a company. They want to write everything to the society. Okay, you do it very voluntarily. You don't want to be a part of it. Okay, but in India now it is picking up. Okay, you are not giving away all your thing, all your fortune or all your profit. You are doing it, but these kind of things takes a lot of time. Okay, maybe Tata may do it. Okay, or maybe the Godrej company may do it, or maybe the Reliance company may do it in the future. We don't know. Okay, because you know how Indians are. We are very much attached to finance. Whatever be the thing, at the end of the day, we always think of profit. We always think of the bank balance. We always think about the image. All those things are there. See, doing something very selflessly. Philanthropy, that is there in the Western concept. In India, it is not there very much. But maybe after some times, maybe when you people come to your PG, or maybe 10 years down the lane, I think things will change. And as I told, it has got its own negativity also. Okay, but just to put everything in a nutshell, understand that CSR is an integral part of all the companies. Every company has been made by the government to share certain amount of their profit to the welfare of the society or the community in which it operates. Okay, wherever you people are operating, try to share some. See, I may earn I'm just giving an example. I may earn around 2 lakhs rupees per month. So at least 5,000 of rupees I want to give it to a student who is very what do you call, very comes from a very downtrodden family. He or she is not able to pay a completely fee. I want to make them study something. So that is my own socially conscious one. This is what this is all about. But you do it in a very larger scale. And as I told, CSR activities are done in different ways. It can be for empowerment, it can be for women, it can be children, it can be culture. So there are various ways. You pick up as a company, you pick up anything which is feasible to you, which is doable to you. At the same time, the profit bhi rahe, or at the same time, the name bhi rahe. Okay, you need to manage both the things very well. That is also there. And you have a separate team of people who come up with these innovative ideas every now and then. So, but some people will be doing the same thing for years together, then later on they switch over. Okay, like Philips, as I told, they used to give computers to the schools in Bangalore. Every year they used to identify some government schools, and they used to give 50 100 computers. But over the period of time they have stopped it. Okay, instead of that, you know what they're doing? They have asked the employees of Philips in Bangalore to go and teach the government school, and it is a part of their duty. Every employee of the Philips has to go. 2 hours of the break will be given to them. They have to go to a government school near the vicinity of the company, and they have to teach there. So that what happens here is, even the employee will feel that you are contributing something, rather than taking lakhs of rupees and going around the world doing this and that. At least the knowledge whatever you have, so you can just go, because there are government school may don't find many technical people there. There are many teachers who can't even know the ABC of computers sometimes. So it is your duty. At the same time, the image of the company will be raised to the thing. Okay, this is what they are trying to do, try to do the kind of things and all. And let me stop here. And you must be knowing that Procter and Gamble, okay, Procter and Gamble PNG, has come up with a new thing, which is called as love your body. Okay, it's about body shaming in India. There is a lot of thing in India. We are very conscious about our body, our color, the way we look, especially girls, no. So they always usually think of that fair skin, then what do you call, good kind of body structure should be there. You should be educated, all those kind of a thing. So Procter and Gamble, in order to have that socially, I told you about ethical responsibility. Okay, so that means you are not a company who are promoting only beautiful people. Any person can use that particular product. So they came up with a particular slogan and a particular hashtag which speaks about a love your body campaign. Okay, love your body campaign, wherein everybody, irrespective of your body shape, irrespective of your color, irrespective of economic background and all, you should love your body. That means bringing a kind of ethical responsibility of loving your body. So these are the small things what they keep on doing every now and then, to what do you call, to be in the society, to be in the market, at the same time to create an image for themselves. I think I'm 55. I'll stop it here. Let me take up some questions, or let me have some interaction with them. Yeah.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah, Yeshi. Yeah, Tripathi. Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, ma'am. My name is Yashasvi Tripathi, and I'm BHMC second year student.
Mm-hmm.
Ma'am, my question was:
Mm-hmm.
is CSR a new concept in India which is
Mm-hmm.
already on uprise, or was it already present? And if it was already present, then were there were some changes that CSR activities went through in India?
As I told you, CSR is not an Indian concept. It is a Western concept, which we the Indian companies have taken that particular what do you call, the concept from the Western companies and all. So after industrial, as I told you, it was only, see, India was never a industrial country. India was never a corporate kind of a thing. Okay, it was only after 1991, after the post liberalization, LPG, industrialization, all the companies were been, we opened up our doors. The government opened up the doors for the private companies to come and invest and all. So in the initial period, the government gave them a lot of provision to have establishment, because we wanted jobs. Okay, we wanted to provide employment for the people in the country. So that was how we opened up the doors for the private companies like McDonald's, or maybe Coca-Cola company, or maybe those kind of companies to come and invest. So first we thought of employee, pehle unko aane do, settle hone do, because everybody was looking for a government job. Fine. But when these kind of diversion, private company, privatization happened, people started moving towards that. But see, every 10 years, 1991 to 2010, everything was only about establishment, employment, employability of the people, that one. So the next phase, that is 2001 to 2010, it was about how to build the image of your company. So it's not only about establishment and providing the company, providing the salary for the company, but how well you are organized, how well you can you can build your image of your company. After 2010, it is everything is related to consumers, if everything is related to people. So this is where the CSR activities have also undergone a lot of changes. So as far as this thing goes, it is CSR is not our concept, it's a Western one. So over the period of time, every 10 years there is a lot of changes what you see. So 30 years down the lane, if you look into the companies, earlier we had only Ambassador, earlier we had only Hero Honda, or earlier you had only Yamaha. Now how many companies you have, how many car companies you have? Okay, earlier people used to go to cinema theaters and have only Coca-Cola, but now you have 1,000 varieties of thing. You had only Rexona and Pierce earlier, but now you have 100 varieties of soap in the country. Fine. So the thing is, the market has also grown. So is also the activities of the company. So companies have established themselves very well now. Okay, people. But now how to retain that image, how to retain it, and how to involve the people, and what you can give back to the society, that is there in their mind. So that is the reason why the CSR activities have undergone a sea change. The kind of activities have undergone a sea change. Pehle it was only health के बारे में ज़्यादा सोचते थे. People used to think only about water. Abhi people want to speak about sanitation. People, I don't know how many of you have been watching this CNN IBN ka. They have running a campaign, Pani, about the Pani thing. I don't know how many of you save the water campaign, which is being run by CNN. It is there on Instagram. It is there on your Twitter. You can just take a look. They have been doing a campaigning on sanitation, women's sanitation. Okay, so these kind of things. So CSR is and as I told, over the period, and every 5 years, every 6 years, it's changing. The perception of the people have changed, the perception of companies have changed a lot. Okay, and the involving the employees of the organization is also one of the important thing. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Yashasvi.
So apart from even the panelists, I mean, all the participants who are listening to ma'am, even they can have their questions. They can directly unmute themselves and can have, or either they can just type in chat box.
I could put it in the
Both of
chat
them.
box.
Yeah, if anyone.
Good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, my name is Sahil Chorsia, and ma'am, as you gave the example of the Coca-Cola, it used a situation to promote itself. So, are there any ways in which we consumer can employ to really differentiate between a propaganda that company is using to sell their product or CSR that they are really doing CSR?
So that's what. See, it depends. Each and every case is different from one another. But the Coca-Cola examples, what I told you at that particular point of time was to retain the market, and they didn't want to go out of the country. So that was the propaganda what they did. And as I told earlier, if you go back to 10 years back, consumers were not so aware of it. But now with the social media coming in, even if you find a small cockroach in your what you call Domino's thing, you people post it in the thing, we people do the viral thing. That means you are on the social auditing every time. That means people are watching you very closely. Even a small mistake by the company, even a small kind of, for example, I was just telling you, you must be knowing that very recently there was an Indigo a crisis which happened wherein Indigo hair hostess the cabin crew had to hit there was a word of argument. In the fit of argument, what happened was one of the cabin crew hit the passenger directly, and which was being recorded by one of the other co-passenger, and it was being made viral. You may believe it or not, the number of people who had booked with Indigo drastically pulled down. In one day the whole of the bookings went. That means whatever is there, you are doing a social auditing at the same time. The crisis can happen to you at any point of time. So there you have to save your skin, there you have to save the images, then you have to come on the camera, then you have to say a sorry to the thing, you have to issue a press release. Okay, then it was very difficult to get back your passengers because you already lost the market there. People started switching over to Go Air, people started switching over to SpiceJet. So there are many things which is happening. So being in the eye of the public itself is it's like a two it's sword. Okay, you have to be very careful what is the step we are doing it, and even a small thing, any person's wearing a uniform and doing some bad activity, your company is in the soup. So the employees have to be very careful, the company activities has to be very careful. The idea, for example, the Tanishq ad, which I always give examples during my advertising class also. The Tanishq had a backlash because the company faced a very bad thing because of the advertisement which they did. I personally loved that particular advertisement. You must be knowing that the recent crisis which happened. And the Tanishq had to pull back all the advertisement because it didn't wanted to promote Hinduism and the interreligion marriage. Okay, so there are small things. See, people, they know how to use this for propaganda and how to use this. That's what you are in the public eye, and you have to be very cautious when you are doing the things. And everything doesn't go well with all the public. India is such a varied, such a what you call vast country with all multicultural, multilingual thing. What is good to me may be bad to you. There is a lot of division between North India and South India. Even somebody says something with idli, people think, okay, they are making teasing idli. Okay, so people find small reasons. People do find this kind of a thing. So as a big company, just imagine. So you have to take everybody into consideration. You have to think what people will see. I just think that maybe 1 or 2 days back, I was just seeing on particular ad. They have used a northeastern girl for an advertisement, and the people in the northeastern people have got offended because why should you use her in such a bad light? See, there are people. See, earlier we didn't have social media, so there things was not happening. But now each and everything it has to be done very cautiously. So that was I'm telling you. So CSR activities, whatever you do, pick it up and see that it is good for benefit for the majority of the people. Then you have to plan it. Sometimes it backlashes you also, it backfires you also, and you have to tender an apology. Tata company did that, okay, without any hesitation. They did apologize to the people for hurting the sentiments of the political is one thing, but they had to come to the thing. Being the top 10 most CSR company, they have to tender an apology. So these are the things. So you have to be very careful. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yeah.
India is the first ever country to introduce the CSR Act way back in 2013, which organizations accepted so well. So, what were the factors behind them which accelerated this initiative, and can the increased awareness of the target audience be considered a prime factor?
Mehak, please don't mind. My dog was barking. I was not able to get the first 2 lines of the question. Can you please come again? Just speak to me just generally. I'll come again. Yeah, please.
Sure, ma'am. Sure,
Yeah,
ma'am.
please don't
India
mind.
is
Yeah.
the first ever country to introduce the CSR Act. What were the factors behind them?
Mhm.
We can say that increased awareness of the target audience be considered as the prime factor.
Okay. See, the one thing is why a CSR Act or why the government was very particular about bringing these kind of things was to have an accountability. Okay, so accountability is very much important. See, whenever you have money involved, whenever you have this finance involved, there has to be a kind of accountability. Fine. So you just can't have, especially when you are having the foreign investors, when you have the people coming from the other part of the world who doesn't know the law of the land, who are not aware of the certain activities, because culturally India is different, economically we are different, religiously we are different. We are different in different ways. So when these people are invested, you have to bring everybody under one umbrella. So a particular act will give a kind of an uniformity which within which you are supposed to work, because we also have the law of the land. You can't just surpass the law of the land and do the activities. What is illegal there, maybe what is legal there, it is illegal here. Fine, like serving the drinks in western countries very legal, because everybody has, like women has, children have. Fine, okay, but in a country like us, there are certain things, there are certain products which are very illegal and which are culturally different. I'm just giving an example, as you're all matured enough and are all are grown up people. People never used to have a condom ad. Okay, I'm just telling you the thing. So there was only a government. You have to go. People used to hide something. People used to write it in the paper, and they used to give it to the medical shop. And it was only Nirod earlier day. But today, everything is so free. Okay, so there are certain things, because selling a particular condom in a medical shop was a illegal thing for us. Okay, how is speaking about the husband and wife thing, or maybe speaking about the women thing. Okay, there are a lot of things which has been there. So the main purpose here was to see, there are, it is a culturally different thing. And even the companies like McDonald's, when they wanted to come and set up their business in India, there was a lot of opposition. Okay, even for that matter, F channel, fashion television in India, when they wanted to come, the proposal came to the government of India to have a fashion channel, exclusive fashion channel in India. They thought the people, the fundamentalists or the conservative society like us, they said, how can you have a fashion channel with the nude people walking in? How can you expect the models? Okay, there are certain things. So when you have a law or when you have an act within which you're, because we need to tell the people. So business means business, different thing. So the main purpose here is to see that everybody comes under one umbrella and everybody works according to the law of the land, so that you can take action if by chance something goes wrong. So as a government or as an authority, you can take the action against those people. That was the thing, and that is how the CSR activities, CSR acts are also working now. So it keeps changing. So what was there in 1991 is completely different from what we have in 2022. Okay, over the period of that, it has evolved. the acceptance level has changed, the what you call the productions have changed, the companies have changed. Okay, there are many things earlier, and even there was a thing where HP, that is Havelnet and Packard, so they didn't allow the women to work after 8 o'clock, because there was a case where a woman in Bangalore was raped and she was being murdered, and there was a company which issued that all the women in the country should, the government also passed a rule, because they didn't want it, because it's a corporate world and you have to work, it's not a government job. So there are many changes which have we have brought in. So ultimately it is for the welfare of the society, welfare of the people, and even the government shouldn't receive any kind of a backlash. That was the thing. That's
Thank
how
you,
things
ma'am.
happen. Yeah, thank you, Mike.
I'll request the participants or the panelists to kindly take, we will just take one question only because it's almost like, more than an hour. Even ma'am will be like, it was a quite hectic schedule for ma'am. So only last question if anyone want to ask. Otherwise, we will just sum up the session over here.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yeah, Nishita.
So, ma'am, we have seen in the past 2 years how the pandemic has hit so corporate social responsibility. The CM could throw a light on it.
Nichita, you were stuck up in between. I
Okay, yeah, I'll just repeat the question.
question.
Has pandemic affected CSR?
Ma'am, how has the pandemic affected CSR? That's what I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking.
Fine. Yes. Obviously, there has been a very downfall in the economic or maybe the financial profit, because the companies, almost all the companies, workforce had come to a very standstill during this particular period. Yes, again they have regained the thing. Okay, now the things are again slowly moving down. The companies which are doing well have been able to retain themselves in the market, and the kind of investment and the finance what they had given has still been the same. But there are many, I told you, right, there are many companies which had the profit of around 1 crore to 25 crores which have undergone the loss, especially the film theaters, especially the production or the consumer goods or the production goods and all. So there is something kind of a thing. But as I told, the government has been kind enough. Okay, because only when you have a profit, when you don't have a business during the pandemic, you can't expect the same amount of money to be given to the society. Okay, so the government also knows the drawback what has happened and the loss which the companies have incurred, and many of the companies have closed down also, for that matter. Many of the small industries, they also have been closed down. But as I told, the government has been little bit liberal in the thing, and the certain rules have been tweaked just to make up the loss what has happened during this COVID things and all. And things will, as I told, it will take another some years for us to bounce back to the market. But those who are there, they are surviving. Many companies like Ford have gone from India. They don't want to have a market. This is completely closed down now. So that means there are companies which have lost also. But as I told, the government has issued a new regulations. The government has come up with a new kind of policies and the rules and the regulations according to which the companies have to do it. Maybe the company was investing 100 crores in the education, might have cut down from the CSR, and even the people have lost their jobs. You know, must be knowing it. Okay,
Yeah.
so maybe the 100 crore project might have come down to 60 crores. The investment has come down. Okay, depending upon the profit. So it doesn't mean that without profit you have to give something to the society. Only when your profit is there, you need to share this amount of money. But when you don't have profit, it is up to the thing. Government can also understand, but it has to be documented. You need to document each and everything. Yeah.
Ma'am, I've read somewhere that the PM Cares Fund, which was raised during the COVID,
Mm-hmm.
was named as a CSR activity. Is it true? Or
Which
like
one?
it was
Which
the
one?
PM Cares Fund, which was raised during the pandemic?
Uh, that's what now that media need to answer that, because let me be very diplomatic in that, because as I told you, the PM care money which everybody had invested and all, and see, yes, that's what, there's no social auditing. So when I told you, the one of the ethical thing what you can bring it in the form of a CSR is being transparent. But where is the transparency there? People doesn't know what happened to this PM care. You say that crores of money has been collected, where it has been done, whether it has gone to the vaccination, whether it has gone to the science and innovation, whether it has gone to the labs, we don't know. No, and it's up to the media, it is up to the people. Instead of posting our TikTok and all, we need to start writing in our social media, start a campaign, hashtag so and so, please give us the report of PM care. So this is what I'm telling you, the social involvement, social auditing is this. See, we are all what you call intelligent enough, we are all what you call socially conscious enough that, see, we can't expect the same from the rural populace, but being educated, being a media student, or being a student from journalism, at least something should be done. Somewhere something things do happen, like that is how the Arab Spring happened. Women came out, and that is how it turned out to be a very big revolt in the country, in the Egyptian Arab Spring. The same way. So how do you use a social media as a tool? What kind of tool you are using to bring about a change? That is very much important. And as I told, yes, one thing is there is no transparency. People even to this day they don't know, because there is no official confirmation or anything from the PMO office about the money, that things and all. And you must be knowing that very recently there was a Beti Padhao Beti Bachao thing. 400 crores has been spent only for advertising, not for the development of the girl child. Okay, the recent RTI report says that somebody had put an report RTI to see how much of the money has been spent by the PMO office on advertisement. It was known that 400 crores on Beti Bachao only is being spent, only for media thing, the television advertisement, TWCs, TVCs, and print media and social media advertisement, and nothing else. So this is where you have done, you have to cut it short, and you have to also see that how things can fall in place. So you have to do that kind of an activity as students of journalism, youngsters. You need to question now, because you are the youngster, you are the future generation. So you need to question the things very critically and analyze things. Okay, yes.
Thank you so much, Sapna ma'am, for motivating students that they have to become active and they have to do the social audit. They have to
Yes,
raise
yes.
questions, start that
Yes, yes.
hashtag campaign at least. And you are a storyteller. I mean, I just enjoyed this
Thank you.
session. It was so interactive in a
Well, I'm
form of
happy if your
story. Like,
students have benefited, and if they
yes,
could get something out of it, it's good. I didn't want to
yes,
have a
it was.
PPT because of this. It's always good to speak
It
from
was a
people.
wonderful session. It was a
Thank
wonderful
you.
session,
Thank
and
you,
you talked
Bhavna.
about so many things, right from the liberalization, like how first the aim was the employability, and then like the branding, and then later on when there was high investment by the foreign companies,
Consumerism,
and then the
yes.
accountability and
Yes.
that environment consciousness and social audit, and how the social media is doing the social audit, and the companies have to be really very alert. So
Mhm.
it was a fantabulous session, I
Thank
must say.
you.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much,
Thank
ma'am,
you.
for this
I
session
should
and
also thank the
accepting other.
students for good questions. Students also came up with some very good questions, and hopefully, they'll also turn out to be good social activists, and also be a part of the good corporate world and do something, because India needs these kind of minds. Okay, don't restrict yourself, because world is too much, and we need some people who can stand by us. Because as teachers, we look out for these bright minds. Okay, somewhere you people can ignite somebody's thing. I don't feel that everybody will be interested, but at least two or three people, if you can reach out and do some good activity and bring a small change in somebody's life, your purpose will be served as good media students. And I thank Professor Bhavna for this opportunity, and to be amongst with you people and share some of my thoughts, and hopefully to look forward to see you people as good media students and media journalists in the future. All the very best to one and all. Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
ma'am, and thanks to all participants. Thanks to our host, Vinichita, and panelists, Mehak, Drisha, Yashi, and Sahil. Thank you so much, and I'll request all the students to stay back for the attendance, please. Thank you so much,
Okay.
ma'am. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Bhavna. Have a good evening. Yeah. Thank you, one and all.
Thank
All
you,
the very
ma'am.
best. Huh?
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much,
Thank you.
ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.